Hi and welcome. Today, Great.com talks with Anima International. And I am here with Dobrosława Gogłoza, a name that I'm sure she will correct me on, that works for Anima International. And this is a charity that is helping animals, and in particularly farmed animals, which I love, as you will hear me talk about in more episodes. And they do this by specializing in conducting investigations and corporate campaigns, as well as securing legal milestones for animals. So, hi, Dobrosława, how are you?
Hey, I'm very happy to speak with you. I love podcasts,
Mm.
so it's always a pleasure to participate in one.
All right. I am very excited because I'm personally very passionate about animal welfare. So, how would you describe your organization and what you do to someone that is not familiar with your cause?
So, first of all, I think we focus on two different areas. One is directly connected to animal welfare. So, we basically want to change the factory farming as it is now into better responding to animals' needs. But at the same time, we also have lots of campaigns that want to change like another part of the food system by making it more plant-based friendly. So when we run welfare campaigns, we might, for example, speak with politicians and try to change laws in different countries, because currently we work in 9 countries. Or we might talk with companies to demand some higher standards from producers in terms of animal welfare. But in our plant-based campaigns, we are expecting companies, for example, to introduce more plant-based options, or we even sometimes help them improve their plant-based options or help them in naming them so that they are actually successful on the market.
So, which part of these two areas that you operate in are you the most passionate about yourself? Where do you see what is the most important?
I think they really complement each other in a way. Because when I think about how we can really change the world, I feel that a lot of it has to do with economy. And let's say that nowadays we have cow's milk with all the subsidies and all the regulations that aren't really working and so on. So once organizations can actually make people kind of pay the full price of the milk, but maybe we can also level the system for plant-based meals as well that are more sustainable, often healthier, but actually don't get so many subsidies that many factory farmed products are getting. So I kind of feel that one cannot live with another, and we want to make plant-based options better and cheaper and more easier to get, and meat or animal products actually more expensive because they should be. They should be more expensive because they're bad for us and they're bad for the planet and for the animals, of course.
So, for someone that is not familiar with the cause, how come animal products are subsidized in the first place and it's more expensive to produce the plant-based versions?
I think there are two reasons. One is that it started some time ago that we stopped basically imagining having like lunch or dinner without a piece of meat. It's quite new actually, because often when we speak with our grandparents, for them meat was it was something that you would eat, for example, on Sunday or on some Christmas. Like this was definitely reality for Poland. I don't know about other countries, but we definitely did not eat so much meat. But now, meat is almost like a substitute of food in the sense that it's not a meal if it doesn't contain meat. And probably that's why so many meat products are subsidized, because this is what people think of when they think food. At the same time, there is obviously a huge lobby So usually where you see subsidies, you will also see a big lobby behind it. And unfortunately, especially in European Union, the common agricultural policy actually kind of helps and supports the system when the farms become bigger and bigger, and especially the biggest farmers have more to gain than the small ones. And another part of it is also the economy of scale. So if people buy something a lot, it's easy to make it cheaper and more popular, and so on. So this is also one of the reasons why many plant-based products are not that cheap. It's just that not enough people eat them, so that they could use this economy of scale.
Right. So imagine now someone is listening and we face this problem and we have these subsidies for these huge corporations that are selling animal products. And then we have not enough people eating the plant-based product. That steak that was on a weekend, now it's more like salad on the weekend. So how can this be changed? Do you have an example of what you do, or yeah, what are you doing to change this? Because it could seem like a daunting task, overwhelming for someone.
Well, it is definitely hard, and I think it's a great example of so-called wicked problems, where actually there is so many things influencing each other that sometimes it's even hard to say where to start. And that's why we try to run a couple of campaigns at the same time, so that they kind of create an ecosystem. So one thing we would do would be to really focus on getting media. There is even some research showing that if popular media are speaking about animal welfare, people tend to reduce meat consumption as a result. Actually, using media to share some messages is even better than having this like one-to-one conversation often, because when people see something in the media, they know that not only them, but also other people see it at the same time.
Yeah.
So they can trust that other people might be influenced as well, and they wouldn't like stick out. People don't want to be weird. They want to be like others. So we focus a lot on the media. That's why we also do investigations, because investigations are a great way to get media, because it's current. There's always some drama. We reveal something really horrible to the light. But at the same time, so we also try to educate the public in the sense that if there are some media stories, we would also, of course, put a lot of effort into social media, maybe collecting signatures under petitions. And I feel that petitions, people often think they are only like a political tool, but it's just like with marketing, when you try to get in touch with people who are interested in your cause, and then once they sign something, and once you have this connection, you can also step by step give them some other information and make them even more engaged into what you do. But at the same time, we also work with companies. So we might teach their chefs to cook plant-based lunches or something like this. It is actually often a problem that even good restaurants, once they try to do something plant-based, it's really disappointing. And sometimes
because they don't know how to cook the food.
Sometimes like even in a good place, you would get just some steamed vegetables with like olive oil. Fortunately, it's less and less common, but it still happens. We also run programs like Vegan Challenge, where you might sign up to get recipes and get advice and get community for a month to help you experiment with plant-based diets. But for example, we also have a campaign where we focus more on stereotypes. So we started a project where we cooperate with very accomplished sportsmen, and we create short videos where we mostly just present the people who are, let's say, I don't know, like a world champion in Muay Thai, or an accomplished bodybuilder. And those videos are just short stories of those people. And somewhere they mentioned that most of their accomplishments were made on plant-based diets. And because those videos are not really in your face, they just kind of mentioned that plant-based diet is absolutely okay for you if you want to be very good at sports. We were able to get this deal that all those videos are being shown in the gyms. Like usually when you have a gym, there are those.
Smart.
Yeah. And here our focus was more on some specific challenges for people who might try plant-based diet. And one of them is very specific form, I would say, of heterosexism, and this like assuming that plant-based diet is kind of, I know, like womanly. So here we focus more on masculinity and on the fact, and apparently there is also research showing that one of the biggest challenges for men in trying a plant-based diet is the stereotype saying that basically masculinity equals eating meat. So by showing people who are really good at sports, often sports that are also very demanding, like bodybuilding or something like this, we try to combat this.
I have 3 male friends who saw the movie Game Changers and decided to switch over to a vegan diet. And I think they are doing the same core key concept that you mentioned here to show that you can perform athletically at a top level on a vegan diet. I also love that. I hadn't thought about it that way, but when someone is getting exposed to a message and they know, oh, more people are getting exposed to the same message, creates some kind of sense of community, that there are more people doing this, and then it's easier to doing something compared to if you're on your own. And I love the part about challenges as well. It seems like you're trying to hit different kinds of psyches out there and realize that different types of communications are needed to reach different people. So now when you're moving forward with your product, if something really, really great could happen in the next year, what would that be for you?
At this moment, this would be probably about money, because we have lots of projects that are still somewhere, I don't know, in the file. So we have some ideas that we are not able to develop yet because of the lack of resources. But other than that, I would say that we are in quite good place, in the sense that I think we are an organization that tries to think strategically in terms of campaigns, but at the same time, most of our focus actually is on how we work internally. Our thinking is that if we are good in the sense that people are happy, they are motivated, they're excited with their work, then we will actually win those campaigns that we planned. I feel that it's sometimes counterintuitive, but I feel that especially if you work in an NGO, but probably in companies it might work similarly. If you focus a lot on your goals and not enough on the well-being of people, you might actually achieve neither.
I think so too. We have that philosophy at great.com that we want to make sure people are very happy or well taken care of, feel safe, they work with something they're passionate about, because we think over time that will actually lead to higher productivity. If you can keep people for longer, they will work from a place where they have more energy. So what strategies do you have at your organization to accomplish that?
I would say that we focus a lot on like one-to-one communication, in the sense that we believe that building trust and building psychological safety in people is very important. So whenever we have an opportunity, like we work remotely in a couple of countries. So sometimes we would really invest a lot of time to just visit our colleagues and spend time together. We feel that often, like going together to have a coffee is one of the most important things you could do, because a lot of it is really about trust. And especially now when we are working in an international environment, we see even more and more how investing in building trust between people is really saving us a lot of time in the future, because conflicts are very costly for the organization. People can leave. The leadership might be involved in like months of solving the issues, or sometimes we might end up in court or something like this. I know about lots of companies or NGOs where that ended up, with people suing each other, often because of very, very stupid things. So that's why I think it's often about, ego, hurt feelings, things like this. So I would rather invest a lot of time in preventing it by actually taking time to really speak about things. I also see that the more I know about people I work with, the more I understand their challenges. So it's you're not so likely to judge them that they're not doing the work like they should do or something like this. So I really believe in it's not like I don't know, it doesn't sound like amazing management idea that has like an acronym or something. But actually,
human contact, HC leadership. Yeah, we got one.
Yeah. I read a lot of books about leadership and management, things like this. Because
which one is your favorite? This is super interesting to me. I wish we had another podcast to talk about this, and we have this very much the same philosophies at Great.
I think, can I give two titles?
Yes.
So, first book that really inspired us was Swarmwise by Erik Falkfinger. Maybe now I'm mispronouncing
what did it? Swarmwise?
Swarmwise.
Ah, okay. I'll look it up and I'll leave it in the description below.
But isn't Erik Falkfinger Swedish or something?
It sounds very Swedish.
Yeah, he's the person who started the Pirate Party. He's connected to Pirate Bay. And another is Hard Facts, Dangerous Half-Truths, and Total Nonsense. There is some subtitle, something about evidence-based management.
Very interesting. May I share my favorite communication book?
Sure.
It's called Nonviolent Communication, for anyone out there. That one is transforming connection and relationships with people, in my experience. All right, so we're coming up towards the end. We detoured a little bit, but that was worth it. I had so much fun. I think what you are speaking about in building an organization is super important to make it last for a long time, to make an organization be sustainable. So let's say someone is listening to this, being excited about the work you do, that you want to change factory farming, inspire to a more plant-based diet. What can they do to help support your cause?
Well, I would look around in their countries for good organizations, because often you can really help a lot with just sharing your expertise or just even volunteering. That's one thing. If you don't have time, then donating to effective charities is also a good solution. And if you ever have doubts where to donate your money, go to the website of Animal Charity Evaluators, because this is an American organization that basically their goal is to evaluate organizations and advise donors how to spend their money in the best way.
Thank you very much, Dobrosława, did I say that even closely right?
Actually, the second time you tried, it was really good.
Dobrosława, okay. Thank you so much for being on our podcast, and I wish you the best of luck with your work.
Thank you.
And for everyone listening, we see